Wanted to show you something a little different and cool this time. This is a CMD SuperCPU accelerator. It's for 64R128. This one works straight up just like this with the 64. You just plug it into the cartridge port and it's ready to roll. If you want to use it on your 128, you need the little MMU connector. It's a little separate device. I've got it sitting over there. I'll show it to you when we go over there to hook it up. You have to put it inside the 128 and then it'll work in 128 mode. What does it do? Well, it does what it says it does. It's an accelerator. Normally, a Commodore 64 runs at 1 megahertz. When you use this in turbo mode, it increases that to 20 megahertz. That's a huge increase on a Commodore 64. I really like this. I use it a good bit. I use it all the time pretty much. I never take it out. I use it on my 128 over here. You can show them my 128. It's a little cluttered up, but I always use it on this 128 here because this is my main work computer. And I use it when I'm, checking bulletin boards, writing programs, because it's got Jiffy DOS in it, so you can use all your Jiffy DOS commands. And it really increases the speed of, listing, loading, saving, all that stuff. It's a great device. Let's plug it in over here to this little test computer we got. And I'll load up some programs and show you how fast it goes. Just goes right in your cartridge port. Okay, it's on. And it's on turbo. Okay, now this turbo, you can shift it on and off on the fly. So if you need to slow down for a minute, you just flip it and it turns off. And you'll see why you need to do that in a second. Let's leave it on for right now. Since it has Jiffy DOS, I have the shortcut commands. So I'm going to load the directory on this disk. Well, I said I was going to. Let's load it off of this one. Now, there's not a whole lot of programs on here, but it's a 95 block program, so I'm going to show you how fast it'll load with the SuperCPU and Jiffy DOS. So we're just going to load it. Since it's the first one on the program, we'll do the little Commodore run stop. And you see how quick it loaded it. Now, this program doesn't support using your SuperCPU, so it wants you to turn it off. But it will work with it because I use it all the time. Okay, let's turn it back off. And this time I'm going to turn off Jiffy DOS and I'm going to turn off the turbo. I should have done that before with the Jiffy DOS before I turn it back on. The turbo you can shift on the fly, but Jiffy DOS you need to turn it off. And you can already see how slow that little rocket went across the screen. I'll show you that real quick. I'm going to turn the turbo on. Watch the little rocket, how fast. This is because of the accelerator. Okay, now we turn the turbo off, turn it back on. You'll see a huge difference just in that. Pretty big difference. Okay, so that program we just loaded, we're going to load that same thing again. And it'll take forever. Now, a lot of this has to do simply with Jiffy DOS, but adding in this accelerator, it does make even bigger difference. I'm not going to make you suffer through the whole thing because it's already gone way faster. Way slower than the first time. It was a lot faster. Now I want to show you something else that you'll see a huge difference in this. Now you may want to know, can you play games with this? Yes, you can. You can have the turbo turned on and load a game, but the game's going to be running 20 times faster. So a lot of the games you can't even play with the turbo on. And I'll show you some of that later in some other videos, how big of a difference it makes. I'm going to list the directory here. We're going to, I got to stop it. I'm going to load this first program. Let's see. Let's load this one. I'm trying to find a basic program. I don't even know if this one's basic. Just so we can list it. Yeah, okay. You see how quick that went on the screen? So I've got turbo on. We list it. Bam, you can't even see it. So this is one of the times you need this on-the-fly turbo switch to turn it off. So now I list it. That's the normal speed. Big difference. And then, of course, flip it back on. And there you go. It's so much faster. I'm not going to make this video real long and show you tons of things that it speeds up, because it speeds up everything. I've played different video games with it. Loads right up, no problem. You just can't play the video game because it's too fast. But we'll load some of that stuff up in another video just to show you a comparison of what the games are like and how crazy it is and unplayable. And they have actually written quite a few games for this specifically that takes advantage of the speed, and also with these super CPUs you can have extra memory in them. If you notice when we first turn it on, it says it's got right here, it says it's got 16 megabytes of RAM added in this. So, you know, those programmers took advantage of that extra 16 megabytes and they used that to make some really cool games. And we'll discuss all that gaming and stuff in another video. But, you know, for right now, I just wanted to kind of introduce it to you and let you see a little bit of what it can do, and we'll explore a little bit more later.